Something slightly out of place? Can't think who's staying at the Time Hotel this week.
Do you have a room, please? Just for the week.
It's kind of magical, it's exciting, it's a bit scary.
Stephen takes something in the real world and spins an entire fantasy out of it. What is it like in his head?
So a hotel, but instead of rooms, time portals, yeah?
Yeah.
I would love to stay in that hotel. It was incredible, incredible. The sets on this show are incredible, as I always say.
Thank you.
We find the Doctor at the start of this episode alone. He's alone. He's lost his companion. He's on the hunt for some milk.
He needs a human with him. I maintain, the series maintains that this is a character that needs a companion.
It's very exciting to be part of the Whoniverse. I came in as a complete novice, so it's been quite cool learning bits as I go and sort of being educated by Shooty. And it's been just such a fun experience and has been so different to anything I've ever done, and I've really loved it.
The great joy of this episode literally is Nicola Coughlan, who's one of those actors we've kind of had our eye on for a long while. She's just absolutely amazing.
Joy is the kind of person who you know how sad they are by how often they smile. She's a person who feels she let her mother down, and because it was Christmas, she can't ever enjoy Christmas again. And I think that's real, and I think there are quite a few people out there who have that feeling.
And I can never be with anyone on Christmas Day because I let her down. I let her down on the last day of her life on Christmas Day.
You know, when you see someone pushing through with that smile and trying to make the most out of her day, and then she goes on a journey that teaches the Doctor more than he would ever be able to teach her, which is quite often what happens with the companion and the Doctor.
I'm changing. And you, because you need to change too.
So he's landed in a very exciting hotel, and then, you know, adventure ensues.
The Time Hotel is a hotel with portals into different times. It's in a futuristic London, and only Stephen Moffat could notice that a lot of hotel rooms have a mysterious extra door.
It's locked. Well, that door's always been locked. What is that door?
So I've always thought, well, what if you get a hotel in the future has got onto a rather clever idea, having invented time portals? We could sell all those rooms that stood empty throughout history. We could just sell them.
You get a Stephen Moffat script, and actually my life just gets easier. I just relax and go, fine, everything's fine, I have no notes.
OK, are we all ready?
Yep.
Right.
How's that?
Blitz Manchester, the skies over Manchester, an inferno, the whine and thunder of bombs, the drone of bombers overhead. Manchester, 1940.
Stephen Moffat's script is brilliant. I mean, he's such an excellent writer. The logic is very different in science fiction than it is in anything else. So it's required a lot of explaining to me. It's been fun and challenging. I've loved it.
Could someone please tell me what is going on?
Well,
Why is there a lizard man in my room?
I'm so sorry. This has never happened before.
Deciding whether to have a set or location is quite a complex decision-making process. For example, the Sandringham Hotel. You can't shut down a hotel. We did 1 or 2 scenes in an actual hotel, but we had to buy the whole floor. And a lobby is impossible because you can't stop the work of a hotel. So it was always going to be a set.
We needed to create a look that was a kind of heightened sci-fi look. So we wanted it to look futuristic and sci-fi, but we want it to look expensive. All the things you immediately recognise when you walk into a very exclusive hotel.
It was a big build, but it was a lot of fun because obviously there was the hotel lobby and then there was the upstairs which had all the different doors and all of that side of things.
The Time Hotel set is so cool. I think that's one of the really fun things about working on something like this is it's all practical, it's all really there for you. We have, you know, some green screen and things like that, but mostly you're in sets that like turn upside down, like this one. You're in the Time Hotel where there's people dressed from all different periods, and it helps you to suspend that disbelief so much more. It's very cool.
There you are. You just pay on the blue diamond.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, some of the menus were amazing, like teriyaki dodo. Who doesn't want that?
Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte, sir.
Every single episode requires different sets, some large, some small, some off-world. You have very few that carry through throughout the entire series.
You know, it's amazing to see a room that really looks like a room in a budget hotel. And, you know, they've just made it all fresh and new, but, you know, the paint is slightly chipped and the carpets are a bit frayed. All of that stuff is, like, quite cool as well in its own strange way.
The first day I walked in, I just looked up and there's this, like, splodge of damp on the wall, and I was like, that is attention to detail. The set designers are phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Originally, I just wanted as many insane places for Shooty to turn up with his tray. You're thinking, what the hell is going on here, right?
Basil and Hilda's room. Oh, I took a clock from that room that sits very proudly on my chest of drawers at home, and it's wonderful.
I think my favourite set is the Orient Express, because I never quite believed we'd pull that off.
Me and Phil Sims, we were talking about, how does he do this? And I said, well, a great image would be him stood on the train. And as soon as we had that, then we knew we had to film that. We can afford, like, the top of a train. So we put Shooty on top of that. It's on rubber tyres, so some of the special effects guys can jump up and down a bit on it and make it rock like a real train. And there's green screen behind.
When I saw it in the script, I was like, yes, Stephen, thank you. Thank you. And in the way that Alex was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, oh, my fantasies come to life. Like, it was very fun.
Only in Doctor Who are you going to see Doctor Who tomb raiding with the help of the Orient Express in another time zone. That's good.
What are all these?
Reminders.
I like them.
They like you too.
It's the most beautiful performance, and it just goes to show the Doctor's effect on people, that he kind of ignites them and awakens them, and then they have that effect on him.
Joy's gone, so's Mr. Lizard. Can I have that room for a bit?
How long?
About a year. What's your name?
Anita.
Anita.
One of the greatest surprises of this episode is Anita, played by Steph, who honestly just had 10 lines in the first draft. And then we all liked her so much, and Stephen liked her so much, he kept adding lines, and now she's become a major character in it.
So in this episode, he has to stop and learn what it means to connect to others.
Anita, sit down with me.
Anita helps him on that journey and becomes a really, really important person to him in terms of, like, just teaching him about life.
Who are you not phoning? You keep looking at the phone, it's very obvious.
It's like a sort of platonic rom-com. She goes on this lovely journey. The Doctor is there for a whole year, and then they develop this lovely friendship, so it's all about companionship.
Blockage in 28.
Is this armed?
She's his mate. She's his pal, and he feels absolutely terrible when he leaves.
Think of me sometimes.
She ends up as a great companion that never was. I love that performance, and it's Steph's first ever piece of television, and I think it's absolutely magic.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas from all of us on Doctor Who to all of you at home.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.